Hello, we are back. We are going to be talking about the tool PDF Expert. And this is a tool that I use for highlighting documents, evaluations, IEPs, State Department rules. So it's a highlighting. It's a tool that you can also type text directly on. So for IEPs, I love to, when I review an IEP for a family, I want to not only highlight different sections, but also type in questions or comments that we can bring up at the IEP meeting. So first, I'm going to type in the code that I use so everybody knows. We go up here to the top toolbar, and the capital T stands for text. So I click on that. I'm going to use red, but you can click on the T and find other colors there that you might want to use, but we're going to stick with red. So my code is I highlight in green for all the students' strengths, and I want to make sure that we identify those, right? Pink is the highlighter color that I use to look at their needs. Blue is for parent input, and we want to make sure that there's a good amount of parent input into the IEP. Oops. And then, let's see, yellow is for the different headings, so it's kind of easier to find things in the IEP, and also for important, I can spell, important info that I want to remember. So as an advocate, when I'm first looking at the IEP, I want to highlight some things. So I go back up to my toolbar. The first one on the left is for highlighting, and I'm going to be highlighting right now in yellow. So this is the IEP meeting date when it last happened. You can also look at and see if it's going to be an initial meeting. This looks like an annual review. I'm going to remember that. The student's name you can highlight. The date of birth, the disability category. You might also want to highlight the grade level. And then you go down and you'll see other information like the IEP team members. We have a major heading here. We're going to highlight in yellow, present level of academic achievement and functional performance. And one of the first things that we see are results from a state test. And he did well in math. He passed. So I'm going to go over and change to the green highlighter. And I'm going to highlight math as being a strength. Under there are the different subtests that he did well with. So I'm also going to highlight those in green. And algebra and data analysis. And then over here, reading, he did not pass. So that is going to be highlighted in pink. So I changed to my pink highlighter, magically highlight reading, vocabulary is a need, comprehension, and information. So right away, just at a glance, you can see on the IEP, what are the areas of strength? Those are all in green. What are the areas of need? Those are all in pink. And I'm going to continue down here. They talk about some more strengths that the student has. So I'm going to go back to green, and I'm going to highlight some of his strengths. Positive responses to positive reinforcement, high level in mathematics, desire to do well, gets along with others. And then I have a comment, so I want to change to my text tool, and I'm going to write in here, we need input from from others for additional strengths. And we if we can, we want to try to gather that information before the IEP meeting. We could give it to the team and they could copy and paste it into the draft, or we could talk about it when we're actually at the IEP meeting. Now, the next section are needs. So I need to highlight, and I'm going to use pink for needs. These are a lot of his reading needs. So reading fluency, vowel digraphs, 2 or 3 letter word or blends in words, short vowels. Also talks about difficulty getting started on work, organizing, often. Okay, so here, and you'll see this happen a lot. Sometimes there'll be strengths and needs mixed in the same paragraph. So here's a strength that says often understands the material. So I'm going to go back to green. I want to make sure I captured that. So he seems to be understanding the material, and then here's that but. But, so I got to go back to pink. But he frequently performs poorly on tests, comes to class unprepared. So those are some more of his needs. So again, I want to pause and I want to look at this section, and I want to think about all of the different reading needs here. And I'm going to type another comment. So I'm going to go back to text, and I'm going to say for these needs that we want to prioritize I don't think I spelled it right? Prioritize. We want to prioritize his needs. Some could be met with goals. Some can be met with goals. Some can be met with accommodations. Now, there would be other comments that I would have here. As an advocate, I'm also looking for things like he needs to be in the general ed classroom, hearing the reading instruction. He needs, role models for fluency in reading, and that can happen in the regular classroom. So I would probably, as an advocate, want to type some other comments and questions here. But this is mainly a demo on using the tools. So we will go to the next section, which is parent concerns. And we have a color for that. We have the color blue. So this is the part that we get a highlight in blue. Now the parents said that they're concerned with below grade level in reading, that he has difficulty with spelling and writing, and that it really takes some extended amounts of time to get his homework done at night. The parents are also concerned about forgetting his assignments or materials, so that's all going to be in blue. So anyway, this gives you just a quick feel for what you can do with the PDF Expert tool. It does cost. I've been using it for a while and I've really liked it. So for me as an advocate, I read lots of IEPs every week. So for me, it's worth it. You can also look at a free tool that's called PDF Element, and you could try that tool out too. It does real similar things as this one does. But again, what I like, especially with the color coding, is I can easily go back and see these are the strengths, these are the things that we want to build on. Maybe we can use these strengths as accommodations. When I look at the needs, I think about how can we address these needs through strengths? How can we address these needs in the general ed classroom so the student doesn't have to be pulled out all the time? I want to make sure that parents always have input into IEPs. So then I would check with parents and I would say, this is what's written here for your concerns. Do you have any other reading concerns that we want to make sure get written in the IEP? So I hope you will consider using PDF Expert or a similar tool and have a colorful adventure when you read your child's IEP.